Today I'm going to talk about when to hit down the line from the deuce court in doubles. So this is one of the biggest kind of issues I see with club level doubles players. When we're talking about doubles strategy, we're talking about positioning on the court, we're talking about movement on the court, and also shot selection. And this falls into that shot selection category. So a lot of players make the mistake of hitting down the line too often or at the wrong time. So I want to talk about that from the deuce court, and then next week, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can check out the video next week when I'll talk about the ad court. But to start out, let's assume this is you here at the bottom, and we're going to start with the returns, and then I'll get into rallies. So on returns, when should we be trying to hit down the line? When should we be hitting that down the line, kind of going for that low percentage shot? So there's a few things we want to think about. The first thing is this player has a backhand volley in the doubles alley. So this is assuming everyone's right-handed. Obviously, if you're left-handed, you'll flip a lot of this. But they're going to have a backhand volley here, which is going to be a little bit weaker volley. So where should we aim this shot on our returns? The best place to hit this is not go for the all-out winner down the doubles alley, because that's such a low percentage shot. What I like to do is actually take this return at the singles line. And what that does is it's probably not going to get you the winner unless this team calls the poach. But it will get them, if you hit a good solid return, it will get them to hit a weak backhand volley. And that's going to do one of two things. They'll either miss it, which will happen a lot, or they'll pop it up for you to move forward and attack the next ball. Sometimes if they do get a decent shot at it, what they're going to do is they're going to try to put it back through the middle of the court here. So you'll see a lot of times the pros on the return team, they'll do a signal to say if they're going down the line or cross court, because this net player needs to know if they're going down the line, they have to shift over to cover that middle shot. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But in general, at club level, you don't have to call the return if you don't want to, although it might help. But go at the singles line so that you are confident you're going to make the shot. Because like I said, if you're hitting, trying to go big down the doubles alley, hitting the all-out winner, you're going to make a very low percentage of those, and it's not going to work out as well if you were to be sure that you make the shot and then give them a backhand volley, which is typically the weaker volley. So when should we be doing this? When should we go down the line? Typically second serves is going to be the best time to do it. The kind of caveat to that is that the opponents are going to know that you're more likely to attack the second serve down the line. So you have to think about that. A few other things to think about, obviously, how good is the server? If they're a really good server, it's going to be hard to redirect that ball down the line, so it might be a bad idea. How aggressive is the net player? I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But typically, I'll do it on second serves, depending on what you're comfortable with. A lot of players like to, if they get served out wide for a second serve, hit a forehand, step over here and hit a forehand down the line because they have a better angle. Some players are happy to pull their backhand across their body and hit that down the line. If you're comfortable with that, go for it. But again, don't go for too much here. And that's the mistake I see a lot of players make. They're swinging too hard, trying to make sure that this net player doesn't even have an opportunity for a volley. And like I said, it's just going to be a low percentage shot if you do that. So give them the backhand volley. How often should we do it? 3 times or more per set, I think is fine. It depends, like I said, on the server, how good is their serve, and then how aggressive is the net player. If the net player is not aggressive at all and they're just camping here in the doubles alley, then I would just hit everything cross court. Just make sure you make your returns. There's no reason to go here because they've got this covered. Unless for some reason this player is significantly stronger, just hit every ball cross court. But if they're a really aggressive net player, you'll want to go down the line a little bit more. And then one strategy for kind of countering that aggression at the net that's particularly effective in the deuce court is the parachute return. And we'll link to a video where I talked about that, and a video of an actual point that was played where someone executes that below. It was from a few weeks ago. And the parachute return comes from Will Hamilton in his doubles playbook. So it's one of his plays. He coined it the parachute return, but I've used it for a long time. And it's where you hit kind of a lob return down the line. And what that does to an aggressive net player is it kind of neutralizes them. Because you've hit a lob, sometimes they're able to get back to it, but they have a high backhand volley, which is really difficult. If they're not, then the server has to come all the way over here and hit a backhand ground stroke. So those are a few return options for returning down the line. I would say overall the key here is just don't go for too much and make them hit a backhand volley. If they beat you with that backhand volley several times, then you can adjust and try the parachute return. You can try to hit a little harder down the line, or the best strategy typically is just gonna be to make returns back cross court. So what about during a rally? So let's assume we've got a several ball rally going. Where should we be hitting our down the line shots here? Again, just like the returns, because they have a backhand volley here, I'm gonna stick with the same strategy. Play high percentage. I like to put a lot of spin on the ball and make sure it gets over the high part of the net here and dips back down into the court, because this is the short, a much shorter part of the court than if you're hitting cross court. So hit high percentage, go for the singles line, don't go for the doubles alley. And that's gonna be the case for the rally ball down the line as well as the returns. I like to do it on short forehands. Again, if you're comfortable with your inside in backhand, that's okay too. But I like to do it when anytime I can hit a forehand from this area of the court. If I can step forward, take time away from the opponents, hit a solid high percentage shot at this singles line and kind of dip it at their feet depending on their position, that's going to be a really tough shot for them, and then move forward into the net afterwards. Again, this is really, you want to think about this as a setup shot. There's too many club players who are trying to win the point from the baseline or win the point with a ground stroke, and you end up, maybe you'll make one and you'll be like, why can't I do that every time? Well, the reality is most people can't. So you want to think about this as a setup shot. So when you get that short forehand, you go down the line here, they have a backhand volley. Even if they beat you through the middle, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get them to start covering that. And next time you have this short forehand, you can go through the middle of the court next time. So that means you're going through here to the server or returner, in either case, the baseline player's backhand. So that's a really good opportunity for you to set up the next point or a point in the next game when you have that same short forehand, because they're going to be thinking that you're going to go here and they're going to lean over to cover it. Hitting the ball through the middle of the court from the deuce court is really difficult because this player has a forehand volley in the middle. So that's one way to counter that, is go down the line a couple times, get them to shift, and then you can find this player's backhand. The lob can work as well. During a rally, again, it's the same principle as the parachute return. You're giving them a high backhand volley, and if they miss it, this player has a running backhand. Against aggressive net players, it's a great strategy as well. And overall, you want to kind of balance this, what you're comfortable with, against how aggressive is this net player, how good is this baseliner. And in any case, it's best to take this ball down the line and kind of follow it forward, because a lot of times they're going to pop that ball up, and you'll either have a approach shot, or even if you can get like a high volley here that you can take back cross court and continue to close in and apply that pressure. So that's it for this one. If you have any questions, definitely leave them below in the comments, and I will talk to you next week when we go over when to hit down the line from the deuce court. If you want to become a smarter doubles player and start winning more matches, then join the Tennis Tribe Doubles Strategy newsletter. Every single Thursday, I'll send you a new doubles tip or tactic that you can use in your very next match. And when you join, you're gonna get a free guide on how to play with more confidence and start dominating at the net in doubles. My name's Will, I'm the founder of the Tennis Tribe, and over the last 5 years, I've worked with players at every level of the game, from USTA 3.0 players all the way to Division I college programs, as well as some of the top 10 doubles players in the world. And on Thursdays, with this strategy newsletter, I share that knowledge and advice that I've gained over the years with you. So to sign up, you can go to thetennistribe.com. And again, you'll get that free net play guide when you join.